But I mean, you Celtics fan or not, I mean, you know all about Larry Bird. I don't care. But the thing about Tatum tonight, he was literally the only guy scoring for them up until the final minute of the first quarter.
Yeah,
So
I mean, 44 seconds left in the first quarter was the first time someone not named Jayson Tatum got a bucket.
It was unbelievable. I mean, and that was.
How does that happen?
Yeah, I mean, that was it was the laughing stock. The Celtics were about to be the laughing stock for the league the way it was going. It's unbelievable how it turned around. But Tatum, credit to him, he put the team on his back from start to finish tonight when literally nobody else could hit a damn shot. He was the only guy saying, "Nope, I'm not falling into this trap tonight. Like I'm gonna bring it. You guys better snap out of it because I'm not going down like this tonight." So.
I'm thinking it's not enough, though. Like, this is the damn San Antonio Spurs, and this is the best I've seen them in quite some time. I mean, I'm thinking, like, these guys got bodies out there. Like, Tatum can't take all this.
I thought they were going to lose for sure, but at least he was going to, do his, he wasn't going to be.
But with that being said, I was going to, segue into Aaron Nesmith, man. That's a hell of a performance. Listen, he did it one night, 2 nights in a row for Aaron Nesmith standards under this pressure on that stage, Friday night, comeback game. He bummed the layup down the stretch, didn't let it affect his mental state. And when he made the defensive stop, realized it was a dead ball, knew the Celtics had the ball again, and let out that scream and that flex, I felt every bit of that. I felt the criticism that we've been giving into him, me included. I felt, I mean, granted, it's still a small sample size, but for him to have the mental capacity, the mental strength to stick through this, because the Celtics needed him. Brad Stevens needed him. There's no other options for that spot, for that position, and he stuck with it. So I got to give props to him. But
no question.
Jayson Tatum, man, it's a historic night. But again, he couldn't have done it alone, though. He couldn't have done it alone.
Take a walk over there and
I'm just in awe of what I watch. I mean, like you could feel the 60, like you could feel the significance of that, and he should have had 61. That call was so bogus on the foul. The continuation, I mean, come on. What are we doing? This is the NBA where you can continue from a touch foul at the 3-point line, do 3 steps and get into the lane and finish and have free throw and one. That was pure that would have been continuation in college. I cannot believe the referees got in the way of history.
That was a bad one.
One of the worst calls in history.
When Bobby tells his kid about this game, he's going to say, I predicted this in the second quarter, though.
You know what? They had a few bad calls. The offensive foul on Tristan.
Bobby, I didn't know you say these takes just to get us riled up. You didn't believe that? I didn't know you were just saying that just to say it.
Dude, I bet you everybody.
I just felt it was going to be really close. Like, I felt they were going to get all the way back. I didn't know if they could get over the line. I guess I said they're going to win, so I'll take it. But I mean, I just felt that the Spurs were just hitting the craziest shots.
In other words, that was like a Hail Mary shot that you took there, just went in.
No, honestly,
meanwhile,
that's the
perfect. Do a real
recap for sure.
Like game 5 of the East Finals.
That's the perfect game to live bet. If you were paying attention to this game, you said, listen, there's no way the Spurs are going to continue shooting at 70+%.
It was plus 1,600 at the peak.
Well, I wouldn't take the money line, but I would have certainly taken the Celtics with the points at that time, because just based on exactly what you said, like, there's no way that the Spurs are going to keep this up. The Celtics should be able to climb back, and based on the way they've played this season, they always climb back into the game and make it at least close enough to fool everybody into thinking they're going to win. This time, Tatum just went into absolute, superstar beast mode, and that really was the difference in them winning or losing this game.
The way
everybody watching. I guarantee you, everybody watching and all of us could go back and look at the texts that we were sending our friends or whoever, and it's just night and day, like first quarter to fourth quarter. Like, everyone could do it. I mean, I actually have to do a quick apology.
How about the fans here?
Oh, wait, what?
I have to do a mini apology. Somebody called me out on it on Twitter.
Whoa, what we got?
This is the first one in a while.
I tweeted at 8:14 p.m. Send us your off topics for tonight's Celtics post-game show, because no way we'll be talking about this game the entire time.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Can't and won't do it. And that's my apology, because I was obviously wrong about that. And we are talking about this game the entire time, deservedly so. So, mini apology. That should not count.
Yeah.
That should not count in the record books.
I just wanted to use it. I couldn't even find it anymore.
That was so early in the game. I forgot you sent that out. That's funny.
Dude, it was the end of the first quarter. It was the end of the first quarter.
What did I say, though? What did I say? Remember what I said? I go, Grant just hit
Yeah,
back-to-back threes.
you said it's
Don't
not
turn
over
it
yet.
off,
I was
man.
like, geez.
Jimmy's also. I'm not watching this. I'm not watching this freaking
I'm
game.
not watching this.
So
I
Sherrod,
did, but I didn't want to.
Where's this one ranked for you among performances you've seen individually?
Individually, one of the, I would say
Up there with
top five.
some of Isaiah's
Top
that I've
five,
seen.
easy.
Couple
Easy. I
in
mean,
person.
in person, not in person. This is a
Yeah.
classic, dude. I mean,
He
to
wasn't
be
there.
down 32 points and win,
Right. None of us
and
were.
your
This
best
felt-
player drops 60.
This
That's a
wasn't
lot
like.
of.
I know they went to overtime too, and I give Nick a lot of credit, Nick Joe. So I was waiting for him to put the asterisk on it
No,
and say
don't.
Larry Bird didn't need overtime, but he gave him real credit. This felt like a 60-point game. There was nothing
He
shoddy
was
about
that
it.
dominant. I mean, Tatum was
Even-
that good, that
Well,
dominant.
he did miss the free throw that would have sealed the game in regulation, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but then
Well,
you
he
can go
came
back
out
and
and
say,
made
well,
up for it
Neesmith
with those
missed the
10
layup
points.
and Marcus Smart missed an open shot. I mean, shit.
No, I mean that's
great.
just how he got the record. But hey, he got the record. He's the reason they won the game. I'm just joking. Like he totally earned every single point. But
It was going to be
You wanna go
tough,
back
even
in
out
time.
there in
He
overtime.
earned it. There was nothing cheap about it at all.
10
No,
points
not
in
at all.
5 minutes
The-
in that overtime.
The Bird stuff, and again, this is hard for someone who grew up when I
Yeah,
grew
man.
up.
John, break it down for us.
And watching it, the Bird stuff was almost comedy, because again, if those of you old enough or those just who know the history, McHale had gotten 56 9 days earlier. Bird jokes about it. He got it against, I was going to say your Pistons, Sherrod, but I know they're not your Pistons.
Oh, hell no.
I know, but he was lighting up Kent Benson, who I remember fouled out of the game, or I might have gotten thrown out with technicals, and they were begging him to stay on the floor because literally McHale could do whatever he wanted. And then it was just a joke. It was funny. They were so freaking good. And then, Bird makes the joke. He should have gotten 60. I'll get it. He gets it. But you guys have seen the clips of that Hawks game. It was hilarious. Like they're on the sideline. They're falling over themselves.
They're like,
Doc
He's
is
hitting,
like dapping people up. Doc dapping his teammates.
it's a blowout. Yeah, they're high-fiving. One of my favorite quotes is from Quinn Buckner on the Larry Legend video.
Oh,
he's like, Bird was so good that game. Just the way he says it. Bird was so good that game. He goes, the Hawks were giving themselves high fives. It's so
I've
good.
never seen a game like this. I mean, come on.
Can you imagine?
But it's so good. But it was a joke because it was a blowout, and they were feeding Larry late. So he gets his 60 because they're feeding him. Tatum, they needed it. It's a different game, and I'm not saying that holds a special point because it's Larry at the height of his dominance and it was fun to watch. But
Right.
That was a different game. It was a joke. The whole game was a freaking joke. And in this game, Tatum willed them back to victory with 60 points, and they needed it, and it was high pressure and high intensity. And granted, it went overtime, but as Bobby pointed out, he only played 2 more minutes than Bird did in that game.
Right.
And so,
and he did it from start to finish. It wasn't like
the whole
he had,
game.
Yeah, and I mean, when you talk about all-time Celtics performances, I mean, this is right up there, and it makes sense because he now ties the record with points. But that, as far as like dominant performances, I mean, I can think of there's a couple really fun Isaiah Thomas games that we've seen, and I think Pierce definitely. I remember the Pierce LeBron game was one that stands out, but certainly this one's right up there in my lifetime with just a dominant performance. And the crazy thing is we can expect to see so many more of these. I mean, this should be the blueprint for Jayson Tatum. I mean, going to the line,
60.
60.
Get 60.
Just score 60 every time. But the way he did it,
Big
like you guys say, he didn't need to shoot 15 threes, right? I mean, he was aggressive. When you put up points like this, oftentimes you have to be going to the line. This is how the Hardens of the world. This is how they average what they average and how they have these massive games because they drive and they get fouled and they get the calls and they go to the line. That's how Tatum's going to get his respect and get those foul calls because refs are going to just become grown accustomed to calling it if he's working for it and driving and getting that contact at the rim.
He should probably be the East Player of the Month. I don't really know who's in contention with it, but this month we talked about it through some of his best games here. Going to the rim over and over and over again. Take a peek at his shot chart. It's like a flood of circles in that paint area in the restricted zone. He shot about 65% at the rim this month. Getting to the free throw line about 7 times a game. Just using, and we've seen him fill out body-wise. We've seen him add these pounds. We've talked about, should he have gained that weight? He's now using it to his advantage in a brutally efficient way. Still hitting those shots on the perimeter, but just displaying a perfect shot chart for the modern NBA. And, scoring like Zion in that paint. That's legitimately Zion efficiency at the rim. And, not quite the free throw total of a guy like that, but answering the call for how he needed to adjust his play perfectly.
And what's amazing is there's still another level or two, both in terms of how he can finish at or around the rim and how much stronger he can get. He still sometimes relies on little cutesy scoop shots when he gets in close, where he should be powering. And you see more of the taking it strong, but he should be able to do it more frequently. And as you see his body continue to fill out and he gets more man strong just naturally, he doesn't even have to artificially go. You know what I mean? He's just gonna.
Well, no, I'm with you.
He's still a kid,
Tonight it was more of
he's
with his footwork in the paint, right?
Sliding into places, but
but it was more footwork as opposed to trying to use his pure athleticism the way you say. Like, he always trying to twist and turn his body and trying to get the contact, where referees, they know that trick already, and I feel like a lot of the times they're like, oh, this guy, he's going to make that same move and try to get himself to the free throw line, and they don't buy it. But no, this approach was completely different. It was more about footwork. It was the spin move. It was the hesitation. Man, one hesitation move, you think he's going to the middle, he hesitates, he breaks to the right, crossover. It's like what you said earlier. The Spurs, their approach in defending him, he turns the corner and he's gone. It wasn't a more of a group effort in the paint to slow him down, as opposed to other teams that he's seen in the past. And you have to credit Tatum for that too, for reading these defenses the right way.
That first quarter was so important, Josue, and that's when he was going to those paint post moves and pulling out the tricks in his isolation bag, because the Celtics scored 2 points outside of him in that first quarter. It took until 30 seconds left for another Celtic to score. That's how low it was early in this game, and he carried them through it. He had 14 in that first frame, kept rolling through halftime to try to keep the score around, that 20 to 28 range, got it to 29 at halftime. So it got out of hand there, but his scoring was what kept them in it. And, we hate when he goes in ISO mode, but when no one's scoring, Brown shooting the way he is, Smart looked dead tonight. Physically, I'm not going to be surprised if he misses a couple games here. He could barely walk at certain times in this one, but credit to him for gritting it out. But he had no scoring in him tonight. Hit a big 3 late, but this had to be Tatum tonight with no Kemba, especially. Everything fell on him, and he lived up to it. It's just incredible.
Yeah, to your point, Bobby, he recognized that there's a lot of pressure on him to carry this team, but when you look at all the factors that were working against the Celtics, it's really good that he embraced that pressure and didn't shy away from it. Because sometimes he just kind of gets a little too comfortable and settles. And we see that in the form of lots of 3-pointers jacked up. Not tonight. He went hard to the paint, and it paid off for him and the Celtics. So easily the best game I think he's played.
Is this going to be a turning point? Does this mean anything?
I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, I
don't we've done fool me once, fool me twice.
Is this it, guys? Is this the turning point?
Oh, did they flip the switch? We can't do that.
He played a great game. He played one of the greatest games we've seen.
Not just him, but them.
You can't say that game 63. You can't. You cannot.
Well, so the only reason I say that,
if they lose by 12 to the Blazers on Sunday, I don't think anyone's going to bat an eye.
Even if they win out, I'd be like, you know what? No. Okay.
You're right, because that last Blazers win was kind of a momentum one, too, in the big West Coast trip, and it didn't mean all that much. But they've had a few vicious comebacks this year that have fallen just short. In fact, you thought this one was just going to be like a 4-point Spurs win or something.
Those are easy.
Yeah, I mean, this one, they give it a chance.
When one team is up, the Celtics have had a couple games where they were up 28 and the other team came back. Those aren't comebacks. Those are you take your foot off the gas and the other team.
It's called the NBA.
The other team comes way closer than you wanted them to come, and the score looks more respectable. But those aren't real. This was real. This was real.
Let me say one thing,
because they started it early. You could see them chipping until they finally got there. It was just a tale of two halves. They just flipped it on them. Go ahead, Jimmy. Sorry.
It was, but here's the thing. I mean, we're gonna focus. Believe it or not, we're not just haters. We're focusing on a historic performance tonight, and it's a good night to be a Celtics fan and all that great stuff. But let's not forget that this team played atrocious for a large part of this game, and you needed 60 points in an overtime to come back and win. That's not going to happen in the play-in or the playoffs against, you know, a team that's going to be better than the Spurs most likely. Again, these are bad habits that this team's falling into. So that's why I'm not head over heels about this is a defining moment game. This was a defining moment game for Jayson Tatum. This wasn't a defining moment for the Celtics team. I
Good
still have
point.
a lot of
You
concerns
know,
about this
I
team.
disagree with that, Jimmy, because I think that this is the kind of thing that could galvanize a team, especially because this window is so short. I mean, if we're 2 months away from the playoffs, a lot can happen. But whereas the finish line is way closer, I think you can get everyone sort of locked in to say,
But
hey,
they have to
man,
play better.
we made history last night, man.
No,
Okay,
Jayson
we've
Tatum
talked the talk the
made
past
history.
Jayson
2
Tatum
weeks.
made his.
Let's walk the walk, you know? And if you're Jayson Tatum, you should be leading that conversation, or you should be leading the charge and saying, hey, guys, we can do this. See, I told you we just did it. Let's do it again. You know, I think this can help them for sure.
But you needed.
I
My
lean
point is, you needed a historic performance to win this game. You can't
I
go
lean with
down. You
Jimmy
can't
here.
play like that. You can't
Oh, well,
expect to
yeah,
play
you
like
can't
that and
have a
get
first
away with
quarter
it.
like that because you're not going to win it again. Right. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So like
There were
that's why
so
I'm
many
not
things
like
that
I'm
broke
still.
right for them to win this game that you can't expect those to happen when you get down 32 points because it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but I would imagine it's a minuscule chance that teams that go down by 32 points actually come back and win, even in the NBA.
Hey,
It
look at
just
their
doesn't
record
happen.
this year. We
What's
talked
that?
about that stat. I think it was 30,
Yeah.
35 games they've gone down by double digits this year. So they've been getting behind all year, and you know their record overall isn't that great. So they haven't shown a great propensity to overcome these bad starts. They've been okay. They've kind of split the difference on these games 50-50, and they haven't been a reliable comeback team. That was my point there. They had so many games, Dallas, New Orleans, some of these matchups where they went on huge comebacks, pushed it to the final minutes, got down to some of these last possessions, and couldn't seal the deal. Tonight felt like the first time they finally, and it was the biggest of all, but they finally executed seamlessly throughout that second half. I mean, the Spurs never breathed it. Like they came close to getting some air a few times, kept it tied in the late stages there. Patty Mills hit that big three to force overtime. But the Celtics were just on them all second half. I mean, they tied the game with like 7 minutes left in the fourth. This is basically a completed comeback within like 15, 16 minutes in the second half. The way they did it so quickly just blew my mind.
Definitely. No, it definitely happened extremely quickly, but they
It
needed
always
it to
does,
because
right,
they were down
guys?
by so
It
much.
always does.
Just like that. Popovich is I don't know, Bob. What are we
I
thinking
can't
about
wait to hear his sound.
Popovich?
Just want to tell everybody real quick, Patriots drafted an edge defender, Ronnie Perkins, out of Oklahoma. If you want to know a little thing about him and football's your thing, we're live on our Patriots YouTube channel right now doing draft analysis.
Oh, is that
with
right?
With Evan Lazar.
What up, Evan?
We're live everywhere right now.
Yeah,
so
you can go over there, but you're dead to us if you do.
Yeah, go ahead, losers, traitors. No, but
yeah, go on over right
Go
there.
in their comment section and tell them to fill them in on the game.
It's good for the company,
and tell them
Jimmy.
They missed
That's
history.
true. Lazar is an animal, so he's always worth always worth getting a peek inside his brain when it comes to football.
There's people who say they study the draft, then there's Evan Lazar. Okay.
Right.
And so
there's people who study Evan Lazar.
Right. And when literally any name can get called, any name pretty much in the
oh my Lord.
In 7 rounds, and Evan Lazar immediately, without checking notes, can talk about him for 5 straight minutes. Find me another person who can do that. There's not a lot out there.
Yeah, he's like, you went 2 years at JUCO, then
John, you gotta share the screen.
Which
Look
one?
at what we got here.
What do we got?
Ready? I just shared my screen here. You gotta pull it up.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's awesome. That's little ode to Larry there.
That's Wilt.
That's
Wilt.
100. Didn't know.
Oh right, ode to Wilt. Right.
Yeah.
But this is
he
a
was like
Larry thing.
Larry.
No, man. Larry's photo had been with 2 Budweisers in his hand.
yeah.
That's not a joke. And then he probably had 22 more that night. Okay.
So what did a few before the game too?
And a case under his arm as he leaves.
Yeah.
The old guard.
You know, Sherrod, you said this is top 5. Where do you put Devin Booker's performance, right? Because obviously it wasn't in a winning effort. And the way he went about
this is way better
it's
than
below. That 71 is below.
You can't put that
below,
at top 5,
definitely.
Right?
Because it was fake.
It's not top 5. I never said it was top 5.
No, I know.
By the way, that pick is fake, right? The Tatum. I assume that's just a Twitter.
No, that's real.
Oh, he took that in the locker room.
Yeah.
Are you sure, Bobby? Because
Booker did the same thing. He took that same picture.
Okay, because Bobby's
been tricked before.
Questionable track record.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
Bobby's
Jimmy says questionable. Jimmy says trick. John says questionable track record.
No, this was sent out by the Celtics.
Don't tell me you got this on IG. You got this from IG.
Yeah.
No, this is from the Celtics.
Got
it from Reddit.
Made that.
You got it from Reddit. What
this is from the
Celtics.
Celtics. Give him credit. Great posting team.
Bobby's like, fuck.
Okay. Celtics Twitter account posted. We said it's verified, apparently. So.